Wow. Dr. Phil.
Well, thank you so
We've got
much,
the
Kyle,
plan.
for that intro.
I'll try and-
new songs.
I'll try and fade that out better next time, but
We're back and we're new.
we're in a rush.
We've done about 8 episodes, but now we're back with marriage tips. Kyle, your marriage isn't in a mess, but we're going to say that,
Yeah.
you always need help.
Yeah. Always need help. So the story is, if you don't know, if you're new to the show, Phil has been married for a long time. How long, Phil?
24 this year.
And I'm going on about 2 years. And so I need as much help as possible to ensure that I stay hitched. So, Phil, what is today's topic?
Well, today we're going to introduce a few people here.
Okay.
Houston, to my left.
Hey, mate.
How long you been married?
5 years.
5 years, so a bit longer than Kyle, but getting
Double.
there.
Double.
And Josh,
Phil, how are you?
tell me a bit about yourself, mate.
I'm a coach, so helping people make the most out of life.
A brilliant one, I might add.
Mhm.
Yes,
Coach, you do some coaching with me. We
Yeah.
got in some issues, helped me with a lot of things.
One of my most challenging cases. But I like to be stretched.
You got to keep healthy.
Yeah,
That's what you
it.
say.
That's
Yeah,
it.
no.
So, Josh is from Kaizen Coaching Solutions.
Yeah, that's
And
correct.
if you are satisfied with the tips that he manages to give me on this show, you can
Mm.
find him on Instagram under that handle.
He's
Thanks.
under that, but he's a managing director.
Thanks for joining us,
Yep.
Josh.
Managing director. Yeah, it's good. No, today we're going to talk about trust issues.
Mm.
Trust issues definitely break down a marriage.
Mhm.
How important is trust, Houston?
It's essential.
Mhm.
If you don't have trust in a marriage,
Mm.
you're not going to be very intimate with one another, and you're not going to have a close relationship.
Yeah.
And if you're married, well then, yeah, I just think it's going to be very surface level.
Yeah, I
type
think
of
100%. I
functioning.
think you're right, Josh. Trust. You deal with this a lot. Trust in a relationship is crucial, right?
100%.
When I say trust, you break down what you think trust is.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Mm.
I think it's
I mean, it's more than just lying. Like I lie to you, and
Mm.
therefore you don't believe me anymore. So, you don't trust me anymore. If I keep lying, you heard the story of the guy across the valley who cried wolf and just keeps crying wolf and
Yeah.
wolf and then no one in the city trusts him anymore because it's a wolf. No, it's not. When the wolf really
the
comes,
integrity's gone.
then So how can we? What do we translate that to kind of a relationship, marriage?
If I think of it within a coaching conversation,
Mm.
it's trusting that you're both showing up as you actually are.
Yeah. Wow.
But in order for that to happen, creating a space where there's no judgment.
Yep.
And I think one of the things that we all fear is being rejected and judged.
Yes.
And so if you think of marriage being the most intimate human relationship,
Yep.
it requires that you can both show up as yourself without the fear of rejection.
Mm.
And that's essentially the commitment, the marriage vows, right? Is you're committing to this person no matter what now,
Yep.
which should remove that fear of rejection in theory.
Mm.
But if you can both continue to show up as you actually are, I think that builds trust over time.
It's kind of a circular thing then. So because for me to be open with someone else, I have to trust that person.
Yeah.
And in order for them to be open with me and turn up as you are without masks,
Yep.
you have to trust. So
Yep.
which comes first, the egg or the chicken?
I think someone has to make the decision first.
Yeah.
But I think it starts with probably trusting yourself
Mm.
and getting to a point where you're comfortable in your own skin. You know who you are. You know your identity. And so for me, as a follower of Jesus, my identity is tied to who God says I am.
Wow.
I'm a son of God. I'm a man
Yep.
of God. My value comes from him. And so when I bring that to a relationship, I don't have to fear rejection anymore.
Mm.
And so then you can start pouring into someone else. You can start acting in a way where you're more trustworthy. And over time, that builds a record, a relational, bank account
Mm.
that you can then withdraw from when needed.
I like
So
that.
trust is earned over time.
Yeah.
Mm.
The author of Love,
Mm.
you trust him first.
100%.
And then it can flow forward to relationships. Houston,
It's a question.
yeah.
What does it look like to take that first step,
Mm.
right? With being open to allowing the other person to accept you, so that there's no judgment? What does it look like to be the first person to take that leap?
I think in reality, we look to see there's a bit of vulnerability and disclosure in how people respond to that. And so there's a statement I love from an author in the States. He says, the path to healing and wholeness has to go through the garden of non-condemning love. And so when we are transparent and vulnerable and we share something, we're seeing whether or not we're going to be rejected for that. And so we almost give little bits and look at the response. And a lot of this time, this can be subconscious. We're not consciously thinking about this. But if someone shows a reaction or a judgment, why would we share anymore? We've seen it's not safe. And so to create a space and an atmosphere where, regardless of what's shared, nothing but love is shown, that allows for more transparency and openness, which builds trust over time. Because you're like, I've got nothing to hide. And so it's not about being perfect. It's about showing up as you are.
Yep. Every time. And I'd see, well, I've heard it said that trust is like a glass, like a window, a glass window. It can be smashed at any time. But you choose not to, because as soon as it's smashed, the cold comes in. The heat comes in, and it becomes uncomfortable in relationships. So let's talk about white lies, because white lies can, I'm telling you this because it's protecting her. I'm telling him this because it's protecting him. I don't want him to know the truth really, because he could be offended. He could be whatever it is. So talk about white lies, like the lies that.
Because you mentioned there it's to protect them.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest things about coaching is getting curious, right?
Yeah.
And so my question there, is it really to protect them or to protect yourself?
There
Because
you go.
often the motivation behind a white lie is I'm afraid of how they will react towards me. And so it's actually self-centered. It's like, I don't want to deal with the negativity here. So I'll phrase it this way and I'll justify it because it's about them. Is it really?
I don't know if it's in every marriage, but in my marriage, and sorry, my wife, but look, I'm tested. I won't say I'm tested, but I'm asked a question. I can see that much come out of the account. What did you? And from this restaurant, what happened? I said,
You're with Houston.
Yeah.
Blame it on me,
I
mate.
shouted because I'm a very generous person and I
That's
love to
true.
spend money on people.
True.
It's where I get my joy. Kyle takes advantage of this, don't you, Kyle?
That's true.
But
Who gave who money this morning?
But then I go home. Yeah, thanks, Scott. Then I go home and I'm like, what did you spend this on? And my wife is the queen of budgeting, and we need that. I'm the king of generosity, but
Spending, they call it.
she's generous. Oh, I shouldn't say she's not. She's very generous, but she just wants a reason. And I'm very tempted every single time, back to white lies, to just say, oh, it was just, I had to do it, or I took some guys out, it was their birthday, or like whatever it is, or just spend that on. Well, but it's so important that every single time I tell the exact truth, because she knows, like, our kids were brought up with that. Lies is the only thing you're going to get really in trouble for. Well, in big trouble for. So lying's the worst thing.
It's interesting because if you think about that situation, if you were dishonest, even if your wife doesn't know, it still has an impact.
Yep.
And I was asked by a friend once, he was pinching things from the supermarket through the self-service, and he posed a question like, is there anything wrong with that? They're a big corporation, they don't need it. I thought, okay, let's say you're justifying it in that way, but that still has an impact on your subconscious. You're not living in a way that's integral.
Yes.
And I think that's the same in relationships.
Yeah.
Kyle, you got any examples of stuff like that before we finish?
I was just going to say, in my relationship, before we got married, we read a book called 101 Questions to Ask Before Getting Engaged.
Good book.
115 or 101?
101.
101. Felt like 115, but it was only 101. And that was awesome because we were able to then go through all of the stories and all of the history and all of the things and say, is there anything that I don't know about, and get it all out on the table. And that was a beautiful position to start from,
Mm.
a position of all truth exposed and open in a kind and loving way.
Mm.
So trust is important, and thank you, Josh, for being here. Thank you, Houston. But in your marriages, make sure that you make sure that you can trust, and make sure that you are trustworthy.
Mm.
I guess that's the thing.
What's our giveaway on this one, Phil?
Giveaway? What did we give away last time?
Well, let's sort that out for the next show, but for now, let's give away steps.
Steps.
If you want to text the word steps to 0482 082876,
Yeah,
you will find a book upon which you can both base your trust.
perfect.
A book that we want to put in your hands, a book that will be good for you to read together to reestablish a spiritual foundation for your relationship. Thanks for the tips on trust, fellas.
Yeah, thank you, guys. All right, until
Thank
next
you.
time.
Now, let's try the outro.
Keep you hitched. Don't let it slip.
That's it.
10-minute marriage.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one.